All right, guys, our Thursday skill portion today is working on 1 to 2 pulling skills. All right, so not just the strength component, but the skill aspect. This is kipping. This is working to more advanced stuff like ring muscle ups, bar muscle ups, tons of stuff that we can do here. I want to go over a couple of the basics, starting with the basic kipping pull-up, okay? And how we teach this, number one, when you put your foot in the band, or when you use the band, put your foot in. Okay, some people put their knee in. The foot allows you to use your full body and maintain a good position. Also gives you more support through the range of motion. All right, so it's on the center of your body. When we're doing a pull-up, what we call a strict pull-up, that's just using your arms, right? Just straight up and down. This is a weaker movement using the smaller muscles. What you want to learn to do is use your lats. Okay, so just getting comfortable with this action is a great start. If you think about it, what's happening, right, is I'm using my lat, a little bit of contraction from my midline, right, to create power. If the bar was in my hands, my chin is now almost at the height of the pull-up bar, right? So now when I initiate the pulling, so it's press, and I initiate the pull. Instead of having to pull my body weight upwards, I'm really just pulling my body towards the bar, okay? So the first thing is just that swing, core, and lat. When you initiate the pull, the goal now is to learn how to connect the movement. So from this position, you push the bar away and come down. Okay? And so, again, just to show you, set up the band. Just feel this. Okay? If the coach is available, they can help with a little bit of cueing of your body. But that's a great skill to start, and you can work into using that to learn chest to bar pull-ups, and then eventually working into some bar muscle up stuff. But here's the interesting thing, the skill component. A bar muscle up is slightly different than just a pull-up because we're going to use a little bit of the energy of that swing in a different way. So the interesting part about a bar muscle up is you're actually going to start slightly behind the bar. Okay, and so here's a similar skill. We're going to use our lats to try to bring the bar up towards our hips. Okay, again, using our lats to create a lot of that power. So this requires timing, where you're going to jump, swing, and then snap the hips towards the bar. Okay, again, there's a lot to this, so I'm just simplifying, but it's jump, swing, and bring the hips up towards the bar. Okay, that's all the drills. You can do 1 rep at a time, jump, swing, up, and notice my arms. I'm not pulling too early. So I'm really trying to get this, just get comfortable with how I get my body to go upwards using my lats and my core. All right? I'm going to finish off with just one more drill, and that's going to be on the high ring. So there's a lot of people with ring muscle ups, they think like, I'm not even close to getting a ring muscle up. And what happens is they never actually get on the high rings. The high rings feel interesting, those longer straps, right? And so a drill that you can work on, if you've never been up there, is just swinging on the rings, right? So working on that good arch to hollow position and feeling what it feels like. So your body can start to learn and feel the high ring position. So you get a nice deep palm grip and just start arch and hollow. Keeping your body nice and tight. And just getting comfortable with the swing and working up that momentum. A lot of people on the backswing do this, where their body's staying straight, they bend the knees. You want to stay in the arch position, trying to get to feel your hips raise up a little bit, and then speed as your toes come down to the bottom. As you get better, as your toes are finishing through that swing, you start popping your hips and getting your body to elevate a little bit. So we'll finish off with just this idea of swing, okay, as you get a little better. So those are a couple of the many skills you can work on for pulling today. Let's talk about conditioning. All right, guys, we have a 30-minute conditioning piece today. Every minute on the minute, you're going to perform a different movement. So you're going to choose a weight and reps that you can sustain to finish the work within the minute. You get to rest the remainder of the minute, transition to the next movement, and perform. At the 6th minute is going to be a rest. So it's going to be 5 rounds through. The first thing is a row for a certain number of calories. So again, just a quick reminder on rowing for calories, rowing in general, but for calories in particular, you really want to focus on getting a long pull, driving, finish really aggressively with the arms. The arms are not as important as the legs and hips, but it is important to finish aggressively, okay? And then you can see, ideally, the calories are popping up a little quicker. When you recover off the row, don't move the legs first. You're gonna reach first, right, the opposite way that you got there. So drive aggressively and finish hard before you reset to your next pull, okay? From here, movement number 2, so you're gonna rest. Movement number 2 is going to be the American style overhead kettlebell swing. All right, you can always scale the range of motion on this as well as the weight, but again, chest tall, feet are about shoulder width apart, load the hips back, finish ideally straight up overhead. So rep to rep, always keeping that chest pulled up, driving the hips back here, right? Your hamstrings are loaded, chest is up, back is tight. What we want to avoid is loading like this. We don't want to drop down into the quads and use that. Okay, so load the hips back. All right, that's going to be your American kettlebell swing. Again, tight shoulders, or if you're using a heavier weight you're not used to, reduce range of motion to a Russian or eye level swing. From there, you're going to go into goblet squats. Same kettlebell weight, bring it to your chest. 15 good, deep squats. Nothing fancy. If you need to, you can have 2 different weights, assuming there's enough for the class to share. All right, after that, we go to a movement we don't do that often, but a great movement is the hand release push-up. So hand release push-up, okay? The top, the beginning and end of the push-up are the same. It's a plank position. So should be a nice straight line from the shoulder to the hip to the ankle. Lower your body together. At the bottom, your hands come off the floor. So hand release push-up, drive back up. The hard part here for most people is maintaining that rigid body line as they press themselves back up. Again, if you don't have the upper body strength, I'm okay if you snake a little bit, right? So ideally it looks like this, okay? But if you're not that strong, you release, you might come up like this, but make sure you bring the hips back up to that high plank position, okay? So at the bottom, there's kind of 2 styles for the hands. You lift straight up, or I like to go forward because I feel like it's not as taxing on my shoulders. But that is the hand release push-up, okay? After that, we are going to the Skierg. So Skierg, again, a couple different techniques depending on how hard you're going, how tired you are. Generally speaking, similar to the kettlebell swing, you want to use the hips driving back. The arms shouldn't fully extend, they stay a little bit bent, and then you drive the hips back and down with power using some of your body weight, right? Bigger athletes have a bigger range of motion. Some people like to really drive really aggressive out. Little different style, depends again on your strength, but depending on machines available, we can substitute row or Skierg for the bike rower as needed. That's it, guys. Have fun with it. See you tomorrow.